disclaimer, drip is a life changer. Now all I do is chill and write bangers. Morph into the green like the White Ranger. Taking my block to the top just like Jenga. Danger, step on up and get roasted. I'm just trying to make some change like Drip Coach did. Toasting like daily, put you under hypnosis. Fuck around with another dev and get ghosted. It's hopeless. We so bullish like Mike Jordan. All the fun fading away is quite enormous. Building a bridge, kinda like a chorus for those missing in action like Chuck Norris. Run for it, run away, don't come back. We stick together, on point like thumbtacks. Grab the Iron Man, they gone from one snap. Going hard for the network, that's a fun fact. Danger, step on up and get roasted.
Yo, yo, who's in the building? Can you hear me? Hope you can hear me. Are the levels good? Can be joining basically the Telegram chat with the dripnetwork and Hustleman Matt. So we will be jumping in there to see what's going on. And I'll probably ask a couple of questions if he's got time for that. He already responded to me here. So it is a VC as far as I'm aware, or AMA. So should get some questions answered. What up, DeFi Gardner? What up, Michael Owens? What up, Illy Views? Awesome, you can hear me. Perfect. Now I just got to make sure whenever Hustleman Matt gets on, you can hear him. Should be another minute and some change, basically. So we will get started. I'm still not in the kitchen sink. I'm watching from the sidelines, but I support it because it's clearly doing what it said it would do. And Hustleman Matt and his team, whoever they are, keep deving, unlike other devs that we might know. So therefore, since it supports drip, I'm all about it. About to break that 5 billion mark soon. That is crazy. Just need another, what is that? 100,000, basically 200,000, and it'll be 50% of the Pancake Swap DEX. 200,000 drip tokens. Nuts. And I think it will get there for sure. Yeah, I got nothing in here. Just waiting on the sidelines. And then we will be waiting here as well. So what is this? This is Monday for you guys, right? Yeah. Tuesday morning for me. 5 a.m. in the Kingdom of Wonder. Let's join this. I can't join yet. All right. We are here. There we go. And let's check the audio.
What's going on, guys?
Can you guys hear Hustleman Matt?
Just getting in here. See Coach is in here. Let's see. Oh, I muted him on accident. Coach, if you want to unmute yourself, you can, brother. We got Deer Slayer in here.
Hey, what's up, Hustleman Matt? Appreciate it. Can you hear me?
Got a few people in. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Just want to make sure.
Yo, Matt, you sound good.
Thank you, brother.
Can you hear me? How about you guys? Oh, shit, I got to check. I think.
Make sure the good old mic is working. Feeling good, too, man. Just got out the gym. It's been pretty good Monday.
How about now? Can you guys hear me now? Looks like it.
I can hear you.
All right. Appreciate it.
Awesome. I'm just going to give a couple minutes here, see if we can get some people in. We got a few participants here in the chat already. It's going to be talking about the kitchen sink today. Drip's #1 utility. Crazy to think.
Facts.
The special guest drip coach going to be tuning in. I know he's streaming it on his channel as well. So it's going to be a fun conversation. Really wanted to do something to really just talk about kitchen sink and give it some light. A lot of people had questions about it, so I wanted to do an overview and then just give the community an opportunity to come in and engage. Hear from the team, ask any questions they might have. We'll go over quite a few things also. We'll get drip coach's perspective and his feedback as well. Somebody who's been awesome in the drip community also. So this will be a good chat. Wanted to be kind of organic, kind of open. Nothing too formal. Just want to have a relaxed, open conversation, something fun for you guys to kind of, see the beauty behind this the simple but little sophisticated dap on the back end. So we'll get into it. See, we got Eric in here. Shout out to Eric the Bandit.
What's up, guys? Sorry I'm late, but I'm here.
Yeah, we just giving a few minutes grace period just to let everybody kind of get in. We just opened up the VC, so everybody's popping in, bro. So you're right on time. Got a lot of familiar faces, a lot of familiar PFPs. Got Blockchain Trapper, Patent 9, Blockhead in the building, Crypto J, Analysis, Glorious and Free. That's what DeFi is all about, right? Dead Victory 007. It's good seeing a lot of you guys on here. Appreciate your support. We'll just give it a couple more minutes. It's 6:03 right now. We'll start it at 6:05, and we'll get into everything. Let me bring my screen up in the meantime. Let's see. Share my screen. How am I looking, Eric? Can you see the screen?
Yep.
All right, let's make this big. All right, we'll give another minute here, and then we'll get into it. Coach, everything's good on your end as far as streaming to your platform?
Yeah, so far so good. I don't see any issues that I can tell yet.
Yeah, sometimes you never know, right? Till it's too late. I always joke. One of my first AMAs that we did for one of our first projects, I was given the presentation of my life, and I was about done with the presentation, and then I went to Eric, kind of get some feedback, saying, yeah, what you think, Eric? And I didn't hear anything. And then I had my screen up, so I realized that Telegram had booted me 7 minutes into the conversation, and I gave probably like a 30-40 minute spiel to realize that Eric had to take over for me anyway. So
that's the way it goes, man. That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
And
it's always funny.
And I was not prepared. I was not prepared with anything. I hopped on. I was not prepared.
Yeah, but that's crypto for you, right? You get knocked down. Sometimes you catch you off guard, but you gotta pivot and be able to adjust, right? All right, so it looks like it's 6:05 now. We got a good bit of participants on here. Let's go ahead and start this thing off. I'll record it also. Let me see if I can find the settings to record also really quick. Start recording. All right. There we go. All right, guys. So welcome to the Post Drip Telegram. We're going to be talking about one of our projects that we've recently released, something for the Drip Network. A lot of us here are familiar with the Drip Network. Arguably one of the best DeFi tokens to hit the Binance Smart Chain. Something that has changed a lot of people's lives. It's changed my life. And so we wanted to talk about a project that we recently launched, the Kitchen Sink, a utility for Drip that's been doing amazing. We've been getting great feedback from the community, and we wanted to get on here and do a VC and talk with the community. A lot of people had questions, want to kind of go over an overview, how things work, answer any questions. And we also have a special guest here as well. We have Drip Coach in the building on the TG. So we'll get his insight and perspective as well, and some genuine conversation. So I want to get into it. Today is it's October 30th. Tomorrow is Halloween. A lot of tricks, a lot of treats in DeFi, but this has been a special treat for the Drip community. So I want to get right into it. So I guess before we get into the kitchen sink, for anybody who might be new, who might not really understand the current state of where we are with the Drip Network, what this is all about. And I'll just give a quick preface to let people know kind of how we got to this point. So, essentially Drip is an awesome token that had a ROI system called the Faucet that allowed people to, make a daily earning 1% a day. And this thing has been humming along without any issues for a couple years now, and that's why people love it so much, because it's been paying people, again, without any hiccups. It's gotten to the point where it's seen some better days in regards to the value of the token, the actual price of the token, because of this faucet, because of the ROI mechanism. We did see some inflation. So the creator of Drip, Forex Shark, he has decided to close the faucet, which is now starting a new era, a new phase in Drip, a push to make it more deflationary. Now, one thing that's really awesome about Drip, of course, is the community. We're all here, the community here listening right now. That's one thing that you can't take away from Drip. And so even though it's seen as better days, there's still a lot of people who feel strongly about the potential of Drip, especially with this next phase and it being deflationary, gearing up for the bull run. So with closing the faucet, essentially Forex is given the Drip token. He's giving it to the community for people to be able to build on it, create utilities, help with this next phase and this deflationary aspect. And that's kind of where we stepped in. Now we're a team. We've built a couple of projects ourselves. We just launched a project on Pulse Chain that was inspired by Drip. We called it Pulse Drip. People familiar with it also, and it's with the community. Of course, you have people who are feel strongly about it. So we got some I guess you could say a little heat with creating a Drip on Pulse Chain. People were saying, hey, why don't you build something to help Drip? And we just really didn't see the opportunity to do so until now. So we wanted to create a utility where we felt like, hey, we can give back to the Drip community, kind of show our appreciation as investors ourselves. So we wanted to create this project called the Kitchen Sink here. So the Kitchen Sink is kind of a play on the faucet, kind of like a fun name, a fun theming. I think that's always important with like branding and DeFi, something to catch people's attention, something kind of fun. So the Kitchen Sink, it's not quite the faucet, it's the kitchen sink. So, you can put your Drip in the kitchen sink and start to earn the ROI. Now it's on the outside looking in, it's a very simple ROI dApp. That's one thing that I would like to point out as well also. This is what I call the ROI dApp. Now there's a lot of terms sometimes that gets mixed in. Some people might call this a miner, but contrary to like a BNB miner, or maybe some people might be familiar with like a baked beans, this is more of a static, constant return. So it's you're not hiring any miners. You're not getting any decay on your on the value of your tokens that you put in. It's simply you put Drip in, you get Drip out. It's a set rate, but there are some rules that go into how the system works. So that's one thing that I wanted to kind of clear up. A lot of people say it's just a miner, but I would consider this more of an ROI dApp. All right, so it's an ROI dApp with the emphasis on delayed gratification, right? So what this does, it brings in the community. It allows people to earn a passive income because they're used to doing that in the faucet. But collectively, as a community, this dApp, essentially, it helps the price of Drip because there's not as many liquid tokens. Crypto is very emotional. People, one day might feel some way, the next day might feel the next, and sometimes the token might suffer from that because people want to sell it. So this allows you to generate passive income, but it prevents so much dumping of the actual token. So that's one thing that we had in mind with this project, the Kitchen Sink. Now, the actual Kitchen Sink, it was an evolution of another contract that we have called the Garden that was on Post Drip. The Garden we saw was doing really well. We got a lot of good feedback from it. even so much that some people were wanting to duplicate it. And so we kind of knew the power of it, and we felt like if we could tweak it in a way to help with drip, that it'd be very powerful. So this was something that we really didn't tell anybody about. We just kind of stealth launched it, sent it out there, and just kind of shared it with a few people who have some communities, some influence in the drip community, and gave them the option if they want to share it with their community, and it just kind of grew organically. So there we have it. That's kind of how we got here to the point of the kitchen sink. So now we'll kind of talk a little bit more about what it does, how it works. We did launch 2 phases of it. The first phase was this drip side. So essentially, once you go into the contract, you can deposit your drip. There is a deposit fee, but that fee is actually taken out of the contract. So it doesn't really, to the user, it really is not like a deposit fee. So if you were to deposit 100 drip, when you get started, your total stake will reflect 100 drip. But on the back end in the contract, what we're doing is we're taking a 10% fee, and that 10% fee is actually going to burning drip. So you might see this this metric here at the top where it says total drip burnt. And so far we've burnt over 547,000 drip tokens. So we're getting close to 550,000 drip tokens. We've already crossed that 500,000 mark in amount of drip tokens that have been burnt. And man, that is amazing. Just to kind of put in perspective how crazy that is, the initial supply of drip when drip first came out was of 1 million tokens. So we've actually burnt half of the initial supply of drip. Now, of course, we mentioned that drip has become a little bit more inflationary, and we're trying to help with that. But that just kind of shows you how bullish that this contract has been so far in just a short time. It's only been a few weeks, and we've burnt a lot of drip. So that is awesome. And right now that reflects almost $9,000 worth of drip of tokens that we've burnt currently. So that's amazing, and we're super excited to have seen that response from the community. So we've burnt quite a bit of drip. We got 4.9 million drip actually in the TVL. So not only did we burn 500,000 tokens, but we have 4.9 million tokens that are locked into this contract. One thing that you can do, very transparent, you can come and hit this button here, and this will actually bring up the contract for the kitchen sink. So you're able to see that, and we'll see here, you can see 796E is the last few digits of the contract for the kitchen sink. And if we actually take a look at drip and we look at some of the holders, if I can find it here, might be a little difficult. Let's see.
It's easier if you go back and then click on deposits. Look at a deposit
right here.
Yeah, open it up and then click on that drip token.
Drip token here.
Yep.
There we go. And we can see holders. There we go. So here we can get a better overview of the amount of holders in the drip community, the drip token. And we can see here, this token or this address is the actual faucet or the tax vault, some people might say. We have Pancake Swap, which is the second largest holder of drip. You have that drip BUSD pair on Pancake Swap. It has 10 million tokens. And then you have the kitchen sink right here at 4.9. So the third largest holder right now is the kitchen sink, and this has just been in a few weeks. So again, that's really bullish. One of our goals is to get this up and surpass Pancake Swap. I think if we're able to do that, we'll be in a really good position to help with the price of drip. It's inflationary nature, and kind of flip it to being more deflationary. Once there's less tokens on the decks that can be bought and sold and more locked in the contract, then that's going to be more bullish for the price appreciation of the token. So that's one of our goals here, and one reason we wanted to kind of hop on this VC to share with you guys, just to kind of collectively share a common goal. Now, one other thing that's really cool also is this null address. This is what we call the burn address or the dead address. And we can see here the amount of tokens, again, 554,000 tokens that have been burnt. So these tokens are out of supply. What that means is it doesn't necessarily affect the price of the token, but what that means is there's less tokens that can be put on PancakeSwap that can be sold, which will affect the price. So the more tokens that we put into this dead address, the more tokens that we lock up in the kitchen sink, the less tokens that are available to be bought and sold on the DEX is going to be bullish for drip. I'm not quite sure where we are. Maybe Coach might know. I know we had like 100 days once the faucet was closed. It's been a few weeks now. Coach, are you familiar with how many days that we have before the faucet is officially closed for everybody? Yeah, so I do expect, so yeah, like Coach was mentioning, maybe 80 or so days that we have for the faucet, people still claiming tokens. So I do expect this number to go up. But once that is closed, then we really will have, really could put some gas on the fire and really try to hit that goal and surpassing PancakeSwap. So that's something that we have to look forward to. So that's really neat. So that's one thing that if you just want to see the contract, see how it's doing, you can hit that and find out some more information about the current state of kitchen sink. And I do want to hop into the white paper a little bit. I don't want to read it word for word, but just use some key points so people can better understand about how it works. So you do earn 1.5% daily on your deposits. This is based on your deposits, not your actual total amount staked. So you do have to compound in the system, but your 300% return that you can receive is based on the amount of deposits. So if you deposit 100 drip tokens, the most you can get out the system is 300 drip tokens. All right, so that's one thing to keep in mind. We did briefly discuss that once you deposit, you do get a 1-to-1 ratio of the value that you put in. Again, on the backside, the contract is actually burning drip. So that's really bullish. One thing to note is that your principal is permanently locked. That's one thing that I do want to point out. Some people, ape in, they are excited, and they don't realize this until maybe later when they look to unstake. So your principal, whatever amount of tokens that you put in, is permanently locked. The way that you're able to get that back is over time through your claims. Okay, so that's one thing to keep in mind. If you want to keep some liquid drip tokens to have, as price fluctuates, or do whatever you like to do with it, then maybe keep some on the side. Or if you just want to go all in and you want to build your bag and want to produce a passive income, you could do that. Just know that those tokens are going to be locked in until you're able to claim them out. All right. So we did talk about that 10% tax on the deposits that are paid by the contract. Again, 10% is going to burning drip, which is really bullish. And one thing that we've done in the past with our other contracts, we had like a referral fee. There was a small dev fee, but in this instance, we really wanted just to give something back to the drip community. So we didn't take anything. We really allocated that full tax percentage to burning drip, which has been a good response from the community. A lot of people like that, and we've seen how many tokens we've been able to burn. So that's been really bullish. We do have a BNB side, which we'll talk about also. That does go back to buying and actually buying back drip and adding to our TVL. And then we do have some referrals, like a 3% BNB referral, because I do know a lot of people still like sharing links and like making referral commissions and want to share with their communities, do videos, stuff like that. So we did add that for the BNB side, which we'll talk about also. So there is a 10% tax that's being paid by the contract. Now on the back end, there is also a 10% tax to claim. On the drip side, that's going back to the rewards pool. We want to try to keep as many drip tokens in the system as possible so people can continue to, claim rewards. If you do compound your earnings, there's a 5% tax There was something that somebody noted that we recently updated. The compound tax wasn't taking, it wasn't, 5% tax wasn't being deducted from the user's total amount staked. So we just made that update. The way that it works is similar to a bank account where the numbers are kind of arbitrary. They don't really represent any value until you actually claim. So somebody pointed out, he said, "Hey, I noticed that my compounds are 100% are going back to my total amount staked. I was wondering about the tax and if where the rewards are coming from." So essentially, the rewards are all locked into the contract, into the TVL, and basically the numbers that reflect on your UI and each user's UI reflects your position in the contract. So similar to like a bank account, if you have $100,000 in the bank account, this is just reflecting those numbers until you actually utilize the fund. So same way. So these are a few things that we kind of baked into the contract that we feel like will make it sustainable. One of which being you can perform one action once every 24 hours. So you can either claim once or compound once every 24 hours. All right. For every 3 compounds, 1 claim is made available. So once you get in, not quite like the Faucet, where the Faucet you had a lot more freedom, where you could just compound as many times as you wanted daily or claim as many times as you want daily. In this system, it slows you down a little bit. It only allows you to do 1 action once every 24 hours, but you have to compound at least 3 times before 1 claim is made available. So that's something that, again, a lot of people don't find out until they actually get into the contract and they're wondering, why can't I claim? All right. So that's one thing that I want to point out to you guys as well. One thing that we did implement to this contract, we do want to encourage people, of course, to make fresh deposits. But one thing that we notice, again, it just goes to the evolution of this contract. This is something that we've tested for over a year now with different tokens and things of that nature. And that next thing that we upgraded to make it more sustainable was the adding of fresh deposits to an existing stake. One loophole that we found was some people might add fresh deposits and that deposit counted as a compound, which would allow you to get an extra claim. So some people would just maybe put a super small amount in there to get an extra compound, and then again take more rewards out the system. So what we did to kind of counteract that a little bit was by adding a fresh deposit, it is going to take away 1 compound. So you just simply have to compound 1 more time after adding a fresh deposit to get that next claim. So that's something, again, that pops up. A lot of people say, "Hey, I've been compounding, but I haven't seen any available claims." So you say, "Hey, have you made any fresh deposits?" They say, "Yeah, I did make 1." And so that's the reason it takes away 1 compound. So if you do have an available claim and haven't compounded in between taking that claim, it will take a claim away until the next time you compound, and it'll add it back to your UI. So that's something just to keep in mind for you guys. All right. One other thing that was kind of cool and kind of how we made this more similar, I would say, to like a bank account. How, if you have $100 in your account and you spend 50, now you have $50 in your account. This is similar. So when you make claims and you withdraw some tokens, your total amount staked decreases by the amount that you withdraw, just similar to a bank account. So we're kind of forcing you to do some actions in the protocol where you have to compound. So your total amount of stake is going to go up. But when you do claim, that total amount staked comes back down. All right. And again, you can only get 300% return on your total deposit. But the compounding, what that does, it helps speed it up for you. So it helps you get to that 300% faster. All right. So that's kind of how it works. And then after 48 hours, if you're not compounding or not claiming within 48 hours, there's a cutoff period. So rewards stop accumulating after 48 hours. So you want to, at the very least, you want to make sure you do an action once every 48 hours, but you have the availability to do it at least once every 24 hours. So that's something that, again, a lot of people had a misconception about. So that's kind of how it works. One question that pops up a lot which is a very tough question to answer, is how fast can I ROI in this contract, right? And the reason why it's so hard to answer is because a number of those factors that we just went over in the white paper is really dependent on the user. So even myself, I have a small stake in the drip side, and sometimes, you know, I'm doing activities and going about life, and I forget, you know, that 48-hour cutoff, right? And I come back and I need to compound, right? So, you know, those factors playing into how quickly you can ROI, as well as you know, the amount that you deposited, the claims taken away, your total amount staked when you withdraw. So those are some factors, you know, the taxes, the 5% compound, the 10% claim tax. Those are some factors that make it a little difficult to give you an exact answer on how quickly you can ROI. But this is a long-term contract. So what I've seen from, you know, my own personal calculations is about 6 months to get an ROI. So this is something that, again, you're going to be locked in, making a passive income for, you know, a good bit of time, and then roughly maybe a year to hit that 300%. If you're only compounding and claiming, right? My recommendation for a lot of people, because, you know, drip has gotten to a point where it's pretty much reached the floor. Like I said, we're still seeing tokens coming out, the Faucet hitting pancake swap. So we're still seeing some more tokens become on the DEX. But right now, tokens around, you know, 1 cent, 0.015 cents USD. So for me, it's something where you can actually build a bag up in this in the protocol to a point where you're happy with the amount of passive income that you're getting. So if you want to make, you know, $10 a day, you can see how many tokens you need in the system to be able to hit that $10 a day. And then you can compound and claim your rewards based on those things. So that's really what's cool about it. And then collectively as a community, if we all can get on the same page and help with the deflationary aspect of drip, then maybe even the price could appreciate a little bit. So, you know, imagine this thing, you know, maybe getting to 5 cents, you know, or 6 cents. That's you know, that's more than a double for a lot of people in the value of the tokens that they have in here now. So, you know, even a small, it doesn't really even have to get to 50 cents or $1, you know, even a small increase in value could be really, you know, game changing for a lot of people who are in this contract. So that's really awesome. So we saw a lot of good feedback from the community by launching the drip side, this phase 1. But we also, we wanted to give something back for people who like to share and you know, have referral rewards. And then we decided to launch the BNB side. So the BNB side came about a week after we launched the drip. We called it a phase 2. Again, we stealth launched it. Didn't really say anything about it. We kind of hinted at it a little bit, but we've really been enjoying like the stealth launches lately. You know, it makes people excited. It's good to see the feedback. So we stealth launched this. It's been, I want to say maybe a week and a half, going on 2 weeks now since this BNB side has been out. And we already have 130 BNB here on the contract. So that's really awesome as well. So even if you're not, if you don't want to be involved in drip, you can still participate in the BNB. And by default, you're actually helping drip. So what we did for the mechanics of this one, when you deposit your BNB, again, you're going to get 1-to-1 value. If you deposit 1 BNB, your total amount of stake is going to reflect 1 BNB. But on the back end, 7% of that BNB is being used to buy drip and sending it to the TVL of the drip kitchen sink contract. So that's really bullish for drip. And then we also added a 3% referral fee for anybody who uses your referral link and deposits BNB. You'll get 3% of their deposit sent straight to your wallet address. So I know that's really bullish also. So once you connect your wallet, there'll be an invite button. You can click it to grab your link, and then you can share your links with people to be able to earn some BNB. So again, you do one thing I do want to mention that just came to mind. You do want to have a small stake at the very least in the BNB contract to receive those rewards. So you can't just share your link without having some type of stake in the BNB side. So even if it's just a small amount of BNB, put it in there, and then you can start sharing your link and then earn more BNB for people who deposit using your link. So this is bullish. We got 130 BNB on here. Another goal, a personal goal of mine, was to hit BNB Miner. A BNB Miner has been a contract that's been out for just as long as Drip, a couple of years, maybe going on 3 years, getting close to. And it has a lot of BNB on it. I want to say maybe 586 or so, maybe give or take a little bit more since the last time I've checked. But that's a contract, again, that has been paying people for a long time. And I think that this one, I think people will enjoy it a little bit more because you're not getting that decay in your miners. So that's the big difference. We talked about at the beginning of the call, the difference between a miner and the ROI DApp. So I personally think, this is my opinion, but I think that the BNB side is a little bit more bullish because you're getting that static 1.5% daily. And then we talked about the mechanisms in the contract that make it sustainable long term. So you can really be earning some nice passive BNB long term by participating in phase 2 of the kitchen sink, the BNB side. So that's really bullish. Other than that, it works very similar, identically actually, to the Drip side as far as your 3-to-1 ratio with compounding and claiming. Your 48-hour cutoff time period. Everything else works the same outside of that deposit fee, which helps to buy and burn Drip. So I really think that the BNB side is a super bullish addition to the kitchen sink, and we've seen again a good response from the community. Now, one thing I do want to briefly mention as a community, because our team isn't the actual developer of the Drip token. There's only so much that we can do. And so if we want to improve on this, there is something where I feel like it can be improved upon with the taxes of the Drip token. That's with there's a transfer tax. A lot of you might be familiar. There's a 10% buy sell tax, but there's also a 10% transfer tax. So what happens is when somebody deposits, there's a 10% transfer from the contract that goes back to the token contract. Where it goes exactly, I'm not positive, but I do know those fees are being applied to the Drip token. So what that does, as well as on the back end when you're claiming, there's a 10% transfer fee from when you claim also. So it kind of hurts the user a little bit because you're not able to, the contract isn't as able to get as many Drip tokens locked in, and you're not able to get as many tokens locked out. But there have some benefits as well. Fees are good for the token. So that's one way I feel like that the contract can be improved. If that's something as a community that we want to, bring to Forex's attention and say, hey, this Drip utility has been really good for Drip. We think it would be even better if we could maybe whitelist this contract so that there aren't any transfer fees, so that it would be even more sustainable and even more long term. I think that's something that collectively, if enough people brought that to their attention, it could be even more bullish for the kitchen sink. It's something that we've seen in conversation and brought up, and right now it doesn't seem to be like a big priority. But I think if the community were to get behind it, those things could change. So that's one thing I also wanted just to point out for you guys, just to kind of give you something else that we can make this even better, right? So there's only so much that we could do as a team, again, with the Drip token, since it's not ours, but we wanted to give back to the community, give back to the investors. I've been in Drip since day one. I was lucky to get into the pre-sale. I got in under Stunner Breezy's first max wallet, so that was cool. So I saw all the gains, all the goods, all the bads in Drip, and again, that was something that was very life changing for me, and I wanted to give back in a way that we could to the best of our extent. And so far, I'm happy that everybody's enjoying it, and we could potentially make it even better with the community effort. We can get everybody on board. So I guess we'll open it up. Coach, if you had any perspective, Eric, if you wanted to chime in at all, anything you wanted to add to it, let me know. We could do that now, and then we can open it up to any questions. If anybody has any questions, we can answer some questions from the community.
I think you did a really good job covering everything. The token tax, just the overview of how the project works. I guess it's something I could add is if you do the drip in the BNB play, you can always use that BNB and even buy some more drip, and put it in the contract also. So it's kind of like a play that could feed you more BNB, which gives you more drip, and then you can lock it into the drip side. So it'd be like a win-win for the project and for yourself. Yeah, you did a great job covering everything.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Coach, you have any questions? I know Coach always is good with numbers and perspective, so would love to get your feedback. Yep. Well, cool. So yeah, and what was I going to mention? There was something that you said just came to me and left me just as quick. Maybe it'll come back to me. That's what it was. Something that we saw from the community is once the faucet closed, we just saw that people kind of missed having that action, that daily thing to do. Compound or claim. People really got used to doing that daily action. So this is something that again we wanted to give back. It's simple on the outside, but we kind of gone through some of the mechanics and how things work on the back end, and it's actually a really intricate contract. That we've spent a lot of time testing and seeing what works, what doesn't work, what people like, what they don't like, and this has kind of been an evolution of that to this point. So again, it's just simple fun. Something easy to get into, but something that we feel that could be around here for a long time.
And then just to add in that, this does reward the user that's active. I know a lot of people, from experience,
Can you hear me
felt
now?
probably like if they lost out to other people that have bigger bags, where they'll come in and either they drop the APR or they just come in and take all the rewards and everything. But this one actually rewards the people that are active for compounding. So compounding here is actually something that you will be rewarded. If you don't compound after 48 hours, you stop accumulating rewards. So, as long as the person is compounding, you will be rewarded.
Yep, that's a great point. We didn't want people just to kind of, come back in, dump a bunch of tokens in here and say, oh yeah, I remember about that. Let me see what I got over here, and really kind of smack the contract all at once. So this is again something that you have to be engaged with. If you want to come out, profitable and earn your return and get a profit as quickly as possible, then you need to be engaged and active with this contract to be able to do that. So again, that goes back towards people, question of how quick, can I ROI? It might vary from person to person depending on their activity. So that was a good point there, Eric. So I guess we'll open it up to anybody in the chat, if anybody's on the VC, or if anybody's in the chat. I'm gonna bring the screen share to a close. And looks like we got Blockchain Trapper here. What's up, Trap?
What's going on? I'm in like a garage, so I don't know how good my signal is. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sound pretty clear to me.
All right, cool. So is there gonna ever be a time where you guys decide that the kitchen sink has burned enough drip, you guys maybe turn that off and then build something else for drip?
There's potential for that. I think right now, I don't see that being anytime soon, just because of how many tokens are in circulation. Coach, do you know how many tokens are actually out there right now?
It's like
Like
120 million,
right?
111, 120 million, something like that.
120 million. So just to kind of, again, we talked about a little bit, just to put in perspective where it is now at 120 million. The initial supply, max supply was a million tokens. So we still have quite a big gap that we could burn a lot more tokens to get that back down. But if it comes to a point where we feel like it's at a happy medium, and maybe that burn isn't as beneficial for the token anymore, then maybe we can apply it towards something else. But that's a good question. I know some people are a little shy about coming on and talking as well. You can maybe drop a question if you have in the chat, and we can acknowledge that question and answer it as well if anybody has any other questions.
Yeah.
But Blockchain Chopper had a great question.
I got a question, Hustleman Matt, if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So this is more on the kind of like DYOR side. So I heard you mention a couple times in here about you, or we, so to speak, with your team. And I just want to know a little bit about your history within crypto. So I know you dropped a couple projects like you mentioned, and then even in your handle, it says Hustle and Crypto co-founder. Then of course we know about PulseTrip, Burn Swap, and the Bandit project. So can you, I guess for the viewers from my side, or people that don't know you, kind of go a little bit about what gives you the credibility in the space, because we know don't trust but verify. So what kind of validation can you give to people regarding your history and longevity of projects, as well as the people on your team?
Yeah, for sure. So, kind of what I mentioned before, I was a day one dripper. So I started off as an investor myself. I actually got into crypto around the pandemic. Myself, Eric, who's come on and spoke a little bit, we're local to each other. Eric used to be a gym owner, and I used to power lift and train clients out of his gym. So that's kind of how we formed our relationship. When the pandemic hit, of course, a lot of businesses had to close. The gym closed temporarily, and then being an entrepreneur myself, that kind of left me in a situation where I was looking for something to get into, what I can maybe take my money and invest in, and again, have it make some extra money. So I think that's a lot of people's goal in crypto and DeFi is to make some passive income, or at least have another revenue stream. So that's no different for me and how it started. I got into a few projects. I hit pretty big on one of my first ones and fell in love with it. Realized that I had a knack for helping other people. A lot of people were asking me, what am I doing? I was helping people get set up, create wallets, how to buy crypto, things like that. And I realized it came a little easier to me than it did, I guess the average person. And from there, just kind of kept trucking along, earned some stripes, lost in a few, made some bad investments, made some good investments, kept trucking along until Drip came around and really hit it big in Drip. That was probably like one of the better projects that I invested in. And of course, being in early, I saw a lot of the benefits from doing that. And the funny thing about that is, just being on Telegram one day, I hadn't talked to Eric in a little while. I just I put my head down. I'm making this money in crypto, I'm minding my business, and I'm in the Drip Telegram, and I actually come across Eric, and I'm like, yo, bro, what you doing here? And we kind of got a laugh out of that, and started talking, brought our, we started chatting again, and Eric had expressed to me that he wanted to do a project. I was like, hey, I wanted to do a project also. Around that time, I actually, I started a YouTube channel. That's what Hustle and Crypto is. It's a small YouTube channel. I haven't been making as much content nowadays because I've been more on the development side the last year and a half, 2 years. But that was something at the peak of Drip. I had a decent sized Drip team. I had a community. I had about 40 or 50 people on my team that I was doing weekly airdrops with, and I was helping them get set up. And we had a pretty rocking community, doing that for a little while. And again, just came across Eric. We rekindled our friendship, wanted to create something that we felt like we can kind of make some improvements, wanted to do our own project. And then that's kind of how we got started. We have worked with another developer also that we've been developing all our projects with. We've all KYC'd. Our developer, he's a little bit more private. He kind of more behind the scenes. He doesn't like to chat or, wants to dox himself, but we've all KYC'd multiple times for different projects that we've done. So those things you can check and verify on Assure DeFi, something that we've done. And then we just, we started developing, we put out, we put out projects. Sometimes your first project aren't the most successful. Nobody knows you. You got to earn some skin in the game. And so that's kind of what we've been doing the last couple of years is we've put out projects. We've built up a reputation where, people say, hey, these guys aren't going to rug us, right? We've built some trust in the community. These guys, again, people say, hey, man, these guys are drippers too. So we started with the Bandit project. A lot of what we see here that we have now came from the Bandit project. It's kind of been an evolution. Again, we put it out. We saw what worked, what didn't work, what people liked, what they didn't like, and we enhanced it. And, we rebranded it. We made it better, and we put it out. And, kind of times and circumstances, now that we have more of a reputation, more of trust in the community, we got more people who are active and participating in what we present. And we've been able to, leverage that to get to this point. And, again, just the community's kind of spoken for itself and how they're interacting with the contract. And for us, that's kind of why we do what we do. Of course, everybody's in it to make money. Everybody wants to make money in DeFi. But, genuinely, we have the community's interests at heart as well. We understand that if the community is involved, the community isn't earning, the community isn't happy, then it doesn't really do us any justice. So for us, it's kind of, again, it's working for our bag, but also, giving the community something they can be happy with as well. That's long term. And then everybody collectively, is pleased. So that's a little bit, I guess you could say, about kind of how we got to this point, about the team a little bit. I don't know if I missed anything, Eric, if you want to chime in a little bit, about your perspective on the team or how you got into crypto.
Yeah, well, I mean, you pretty much covered everything. But I guess if I was to add something, is like Matt and I, we have the same mentality. We're entrepreneurs. I've personally been an entrepreneur for over like 15 years now, and it's not like, for us, it's not like we're not trying to build something for cash grab. It's more of will this idea work? And if the idea works, that is where we get the joy from, by seeing other people, becoming successful by something that we built and put together and actually made it work. The challenge of it making work is actually what feeds us to like create stuff on there. And then one thing about it, I mean, you can also always go on our Telegram. Most people in our Telegram is pretty happy and positive. And they're all real investors that are invested in the project. You can go in there and chat with them, and they can give you their feedback. It's rare to see a angry person in there. I mean, every now and then somebody might be like, hey, why can't I claim, we're like, well, it's in the white paper, there's only so much we can do. But, like you can definitely judge the project by going in a Telegram and just kind of chat with people and, look around.
And that's another thing too, that we kind of pride ourselves on a little bit. Of course, we have some great admins, some guys that have been down with us who helped manage the chat, but we're also active in the chat also. So I think a lot of people like being able to come to the chat and actually be able to speak with the team. A lot of times, you don't really get to speak with the development team. You can't really get straight answers sometimes, or you can't even voice your opinion or your feedback or your thoughts, what you might think might be an improvement on the project. And so that's something that that we kind of pride ourselves on. We take suggestions. Obviously, we can't take every suggestion, but people like at least being able to voice their suggestions and their opinions. So that's something that we welcome. Also, that's a little different in how we kind of run together as a team.
Yeah, don't gotta worry about that here. These guys don't sleep.
Yeah, we be up all night, man. Addicted to
16-hour
Telegram.
days. They be sleeping for about 4 or 5 hours and then they back up.
Hey, I mean, we enjoy it. At the end of the day, it's a lot of hard work, but it's like, again, it falls back to the challenge of building something. We just really enjoy just building something that actually brings success for everybody.
Yo, what up?
We got Moonshot Max. What's up, Max?
Yo, what up, guys? Yo, I just I want to say that when I first heard about Post Drip, and Matt knows that I grilled him, asked him some really hard questions about it. And a lot of times, investors don't really invest in the actual product, but they invest in the team. So once I spoke to Matt and we had a conversation over the phone before the pre-sale came, before everything happened, I already knew that we had something special here without even launching the protocol, because of the way Eric and Hustleman Matt thinks. So that's what I really, really invested in, even before the pre-sale came. So I'm happy I did. And I'm happy that, Matt reached out to me, because I feel like based off the tokenomics and what they're bringing to the table, this is something that's going to have a nice run. So I'm definitely proud of the team, and yeah, like during the summertime, we used to be up to like 5 o'clock in the morning on the VC, but I got to work now, so I can't really be up that late. But this is a team that's up all day. Anytime I have a question, I am DM Matt, sorry, and he answers me usually within 5 minutes. That's how fast it is. And I'm like, man, this guy never sleeps. Like anytime I have a question, he's willing to answer it. So that's why I'm getting, guys, if you're listening for the first time, you're getting a team that's hands-on, but secondly, that's there, able to answer your questions at any time. And a lot of these protocols, we don't have that. We don't have access to the devs and the team. But in this one, you definitely have access to them. So shout outs to them.
Yeah, thanks for that, Max. That was awesome. Yeah, so does anybody else have any questions they want to come up and speak, or drop a comment in the chat about the kitchen sink?
Kia ora. Hi, Jen, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Is that Little Crypto NZ?
Little Crypto, New Zealand, yes.
New Zealand, awesome.
Guys, yeah. Look, I just want to let you know, I joined the Drip network about a year ago, and I made some of my beautiful family and friends a wallet with the hope of the price going up. And then over a whole year, I looked after their wallets and hydrated as much as I could. And then the price went right down to 1 cent, 1.5 cents. And it was like, oh no, what a waste of my time. However, what I learned from that journey was all about crypto. I learned about compounding, hydrating, claiming. I learned about all the words, whales and bear and bull markets. And now with the introduction of kitchen sink, instead of my drip wallet just sitting there doing nothing, now at least I can put some of that drip, and for my family members, I can put it into the kitchen sink, and it's starting to earn 1.5 a day. Yes, it's a bit difficult to remember. I've got to do that, every 2 days, but you get into a routine. But what I love about it, from a new crypto user, someone who's new in the DeFi space, it's a very, very simple and clear, easy. Not to mention the BNB side. I've also just put one little BNB into the other side just to see how that works. So I'm really loving the opportunity that is presented itself. I listen to Moonshot and think, oh yes, I too believe in, it's not about what you're investing in, but who you're investing in. So I sort of have faith that you guys have good intent with this, and I just thank you that hopefully it actually helps the drip price appreciate as well, and then we're all winning. So thank you so much, gentlemen, and I wish you all the best. Kia ora.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really great to hear. Appreciate that feedback. And yeah, I think if a lot of people shared that same kind of sentiment, I know a lot of people have a similar story where they got into drip. It was a little higher price, and then the current market conditions brought it to where it is now, and they're like, hey, I have these tokens, and what can I do with them? They're not really of much value, at least as much as maybe some people have invested. But that's exactly what this is for. Now it kind of gives you something to do at least and earn a little bit more. So if people, had that same mindset and went into, did their own research, of course, listen to VCs, kind of read the white paper, get a better understanding. And once they're comfortable, deposit into the kitchen sink, then I think collectively as a community, we can kind of change the narrative with drip. So that's really awesome feedback, and I'm glad to hear that from you. So it looks like we got a question in the chat from Drip Coach. Looks like somebody on the channel asked if any future development on the Bandit project. So the Bandit project, we haven't really had any plans to develop. It's something that is still running right now. If you are familiar with Post Drip, you might find a lot of similarities in the Bandit project because that was actually, I guess you could say, the Bandit project was kind of like the father of Post Drip, so to speak. So we put the Bandit project. It's been going on for over a year and a half now on the Binance Smart Chain. It is ROI DApp similar to Post Drip. It does have a feature in there called Stash House that was similar. That was kind of like the first iteration of the garden and the kitchen sink. But again, that was our first project. So we ran into some difficulties as far as getting a large community, getting a lot of investment in, the conditions of the market. So the actual liquidity and things of that nature are a little lower. So something that we kept around, we didn't close it. It's still something that some people still love. We still have a few people in the Telegram that are active with it and they love it and they participate in it. But for us as a team, we just didn't see, I guess how do I put it? I guess we didn't see as much value really putting more effort in continuing to develop on it because a lot of this development takes a lot of capital, takes a lot of time and effort. So we didn't really see, being able to get an ROI on it. Yeah, basically, to be able to get that ROI. Right. So that's something that we saw opportunity in Post-Chain. Post-Chain was brand new blockchain. A lot of people wanted something similar, like an ROI DApp on Post-Chain. So that's why we actually, funny enough, we actually were going to call Post Drip. We were going to call it, we were going to use the Bandit name on Post Drip. But we had some people that was like, hey, I really want to drip on Post-Chain. And we were like, hey, well, we have these contracts that we've been testing. We feel like they will work if the community would hop on board with it. And we were thinking about should we launch it on Bandit? Should we call it Bandit or should we call it something different? And somebody was like, man, y'all should just call it Post Drip. And it is what it is. Whatever people think, who cares? That's what we want.
They said drip. Remember they said drip, call it drip. And we're like, we'll call it Post Drip.
Mm-hmm. So
dropped so fast.
Yeah. And so we put it out. Literally, we had the idea. We put it out within a few weeks. That was one reason. So it's kind of funny. Somebody else mentioned too. It's like a lot of pieces that we've had on the Bandit project have allowed us to get to this point. Somebody said it's like everything that's bullish right now in DeFi came from the Bandit project. I was like, yeah, I guess kind of in a way. Because we made adjustments. We saw what worked. We saw what didn't work. We saw what people liked, what they didn't like. And then we built upon that. And because we had a lot of the core pieces in place, we were able to deploy things rather quickly. So we were able to put these things out to give people. That's another thing. People were like, oh man, you guys were really quick with the kitchen sink. It's because we had a lot of these things already tested. We already kind of knew what we have. we knew the potential of it. And then from there, just, making adjustments to make it fit for the community. That's how we were able to deliver it so quickly. So hope that answers that question.
And then just to add on that also, from then and now, like we built so much experience, by building in the past up until this day. We saw what works, what doesn't work, what the community responds to, what the community doesn't like. So same thing with the kitchen sink. I saw some people where they were like, "Oh, it's just a simple miner." We're just like, it's not a simple miner, And then some people said, "Oh, it's not going to work," and we're like, "We're pretty sure it's going to work because like we kind of had experience in that to kind of know what a lot of community wants and what the community responds good to. Because even if you can innovate something like really, really cool, but if it's too complicated, most people don't even want to touch it and they don't even want to hear about it. So with that, comes our experience from starting when we had the Bandit project to like where we at now. Correct.
Yeah, it's not in the grand scheme when you think about it, but I always say being in crypto is like double time. It's like 2-3 years really
5 minutes.
Feel like 6,
Like a lifetime.
But yeah, I
5
definitely
minutes
get
is
what
like
you're
2 months.
saying. Yeah, people like, man, when is this coming? Like, man, it's only been a week, man. But yeah, I definitely feel that. But I think one thing really first and foremost is expectation. Really setting the right expectation for people, because it might come across that we were able to deliver things quickly and we're able to put it out, but it really has to do with the expectation that we set. A lot of times on the back end things do take a long time. Sometimes like we come up with a concept and we start developing on it, and then halfway through we're like, oh, we want to change this, and so those things take time. The community doesn't always see those things, what happens, kind of behind the scenes with the brainstorming and you seeing what works and, what doesn't work, and concepts, seeing what's popular in the community, taking inspiration and things like that. But a lot of it really comes with setting the right expectation. So just kind of letting people know, hey, we're working on this, and then once we have it ready, or if it's ready, setting a proper timeline for that. So that people kind of had the expectation. I think kind of, alluding to like Forex, for instance, he had a lot of, big plans in the roadmap, and, oftentimes, that didn't happen, or he wasn't able to deliver on that on time, or, things like that. That's something that we see a lot. And it's, it's not uncommon. It's not it's something that we deal with as well. But it's really setting better expectations to the community. Like I really hate, I hate like saying something and then having to go back on it and not do it. Sometimes it happens where, things don't really happen. They're out of your control. You kind of have to tackle it head on. But if we say that we want to do something, we want to launch on this time and we want on this date, we try our best to our ability to do that. And then, on the back end, now it seems to the community, it's like, hey, man, these guys are putting stuff out quick. man, these guys are on point. You know, they said it was going to launch on this. It launched. You know, things went smooth. So I think really it's more so just setting the proper expectations and then, you know, being able to deliver on that.
And then just to add, like our team, you know, like we're a small team, but we all have all three of us get along really good. You know, we crack jokes. Relationship is very important. And then also like, yeah, fitness, you know, it is a completely different category, right, than crypto. But I have a lot of experience like with software and doing stuff in the past, you know, like I've done a little bit of coding. I've done like Photoshop, built animations, you know, so software's always been a key love for me. So like the computer, blockchain, crypto space was never like foreign to me. And then, you know, our word is number one for us. So that's one thing we all have very, one thing in common is like, once we say something, we feel obligated to fulfill what we said, you know, even if time is running out or something, we're like, hey, you know, like this is our priority. So we definitely try our best to stick to our word. Once we say something, you know, we really prioritize that to fulfill it. What what martial arts, just changing the subject a little bit, which martial arts did you do you coach? Okay, nice. Because like the gym that where Matt and I met, you know, that one was more of a bodybuilding, powerlifting. But I came from mixed martial arts and jiu-jitsu. I did that for like 10 years. I actually did a mixed martial arts fight in Alabama before it was sanctioned. uh, yeah, but you know, like for me growing up, it's just challenges. You know, I definitely enjoy challenges. You know, I did it once. I won that fight. I went up in a higher weight class, and then I was like, all right. I thought it was cool, but it just wasn't for me. You know?
Right.
But yeah. But I could definitely relate. You know, it's a pretty cool. You know, it's fun. You know, but you have to be that type of person that really enjoys it.
Yeah, I can see that. So it's ironic again because they did the same thing, martial arts, and then I opened a gym here in Cambodia, more strength training. I wouldn't call it powerlifting. They're not familiar really with the fundamentals of training, period. So, but it was literally free weights and stuff like that, not the clunky 1960s, 70s machine bodybuilding style, but it was more functional training. I hate that word, but yeah, functional training. And yeah, I hate CrossFit with a passion, so I hate that one as well.
I tried CrossFit for a little while too. I did Olympic weightlifting, CrossFit, powerlifting, did bodybuilding. So I've been around.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I kind of had more of a I was more involved in like football, played a little college football, so I was kind of more like weightlifting, speed and agility type stuff. And then I got into powerlifting again when I met Eric. So I enjoy lifting weights for a little while. Now I have to admit, after the pandemic and after clicking some buttons and making passive income, I'm not as motivated to lift as heavy as I used to. But
I can relate to that.
Definitely got some enjoyment out of that when I did.
Have you guys, the team, have y'all switched full-time crypto? Or Matt, Eric, you still own the gym and run the gym, or did it get completely revamped due to COVID?
No, actually, no. I just sold it because I had that gym for if I'm not mistaken, like 8 years, and
wow.
I have like different businesses, like different source of incomes. So it was just something that I just like, you know what, I'm gonna sell it one day. I actually had two. But I sold one earlier, like a couple years before, and then the second one, I just decided to sell that one also. So, I've been fortunate and blessed with like my lifestyle. Mm-hmm. I'm again entrepreneur, where it's just like, like Richard Hart says, he likes to win. Everything I do, I like to win.
Right.
So, I could do crypto full time, but I also have like other sources of revenues by different businesses.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of same way. That's kind of how I gave myself the moniker Hustleman, because I felt like I was always doing some type of side hustle, trying to make ends meet. So I'm kind of the same way. Even so even a lesson that I learned actually with drip, because drip at one point became my main source of income, where I really didn't have to do much else. Of course, we see, the status of it now. So at some point I did have to, again, get back to the hustle, find some other side revenue. So something now, I like to do different things to bring in revenue, create different streams of income, and not necessarily be fully dependent on crypto, anymore. That was kind of a lesson that I learned. But it is one of my main sources of income, and something that we put a lot of time and energy into. Which is fun for us. I get it's really work. The amount of time that we put into Telegram and getting in meeting and coming up with concepts, trying to figure out what's next. How do we continue to support the price? How do we add utility? How do we do this? It does take a lot of time. But a lesson that I learned is always kind of have multiple coals on the fire, bringing in some revenue. If anything, I like to say I could earn a little extra to play with some more crypto. So yeah, it's very similar to Eric. Got a few income streams as well.
Yo, can I drop in real quick?
Crypto Night. KK, what's going on, brother?
What up, family? Hustleman, Matt, Coach, Moonshot. I see a bunch of household names on there. What's up, family? Let me ask you guys this, because I just jumped on, so I'm not sure what you guys have covered already. So I just want to hit you with one that I've been curious about. P-Drip and Kitchen Sink have been on fire, right? Participation constantly going up. The Garden, the TVL is plus $500,000. Kitchen Sink is over 550,000 drip burned. Like, let me ask you this. Overall, have you guys received positive feedback, massive support, or has a handful of people pushed back a little bit and still don't believe that you guys are a safe food product and a sustainable ecosystem?
I think it's a combination of both.
Okay.
To be honest, I think it's a combination of both. We've definitely, I've mentioned it quite a few times that we've seen really good feedback from the community to get the numbers that you just mentioned. There had to be a lot of positive feedback from the community, but in a way, I do feel like still maybe I don't know if it's the right word, but maybe some gatekeeping, or maybe some people who don't want to support all in, or maybe. Or just kind of stern on what their beliefs are and what they feel like is best for their investment, which that's for everybody to have their own thoughts and opinions on what's best for them. But I do feel like there is a set amount of people who haven't been as open to it, or maybe have kind of saw something and just said didn't really maybe saw something from the outside and didn't really dive in to do more research, right?
Because maybe they were comparing it to something else.
Yeah, so like I guess an example, we saw a video that came out, and this person was saying that they had a lot of feedback from their community about if they were going to get into post drip or not, and they did the whole tirade and said that they felt like we were what was the word they used, Eric? He felt like we were I guess wolves in sheep clothing was one, but
wow, interesting.
Was I guess we were untrustworthy, and the reason why was because he saw the logo that we did for post drip, where obviously the logo is very similar to the drip logo.
Yeah,
and so for him, he felt like that was kind of like a copying. He was saying the way that you do anything is the way that you do everything. But when I actually watched the video, he didn't really dive into like the intricacies of the project, what was different. A lot of people, if they heard the story, they knew that again, we were involved in drip, so it's kind of like more of an inspiration versus something that we were trying to compete against or knock. So it's just kind of like it's kind of more surface level. I think that's what I guess the point I was trying to make.
Yeah.
A lot of people make surface level opinions, and they don't really take the time to actually go in and learn for themselves. And so you get those opinions. So like doing like a VC and kind of talking about these things and like getting on and allowing other members in the community to ask questions and talk, that kind of for us, it helps strengthen our reputation because people can hear from us, they can get feedback, they can express their opinion and kind of make a better judgment on if it's something that they want to get involved in or maybe not.
Man,
well, like one thing I was telling Matt is like I tell Matt like we're like the outside kids. we're not part of the group that kind of like will support. Like one thing about this space is there's some people that have a lot of influence over the community, which the community, there's different packs, and those individuals will only support their friends, but like we're not part of that group, so that's where the gatekeeping kind of comes in, where it's like they're like, oh no, they automatically don't want it because for some reason like we're not part of the club. But it's all good. I love the challenge. It just makes us work harder and just be like, all right, cool.
Yeah. Somebody said one time they said that we're the indie movie directors.
Yeah, there you go. That's the word I was looking for.
No, I love it. I was just curious, man, because personally, and Matt, you and I have talked. I haven't really talked much to Eric just yet, but I'm a huge fan of the ecosystem. And I'll be honest, I had some reservations as well. Not so much about the tokenomics, although that always plays a part of it. It's really just my overall experience in DeFi in the last, 18 months or so. It's a really risky space because there's so many people that just don't fucking know what they're really doing. And they find the right people to market their project on YouTube and get everybody amped up and excited about their project. And they'll put together these really elaborate roadmaps, and none of this stuff really happens. And while you're sitting and waiting and believing in the whole process, it never happens. And during that, and actually at the end of it, you lose quite a bit of money. So you're a bit skeptical, right? You really are. At this point, you just want to put your toe in the water. No more jumping in full body, thinking you'll get used to it. So I was a little bit like that as well. And to your point, it did take for me personally to have the right people promote P-Drip. And just to name drop a few, it was like Moonshot Max and the Gardener, people that I respect, trust, and do really good analysis. And obviously they're looking under the hood. And when they popped the hood open and started digging into your white paper, they like what they saw. Then they put their money in it, and the results backed up what they saw. And then you and I spoke, gets back to like trust. So we had our interview, and I was like, my goodness. He was self-employed, both of them self-employed, so they understand how to run a business. They understand how to navigate on the fly. They honor their commitments real time. They're constantly creating utility. All the stuff I've been crying and screaming for in the space, these guys are doing it. So why wouldn't I support a project like that? So put your money where your mouth is. Invest in the project. And my experience overall has been incredible, man. So to the point that you were making, which is, look, don't judge us from the lens of some other project which under-delivered and failed. Hold us at our own merit and accord. Do your own research. The white paper's there. Come into Telegram. Look at YouTube videos. Maybe put a little bit of money in there and kind of figure it out for yourself, because that's when you really learn how something actually works. You got to have some skin in the game, right? So when they do that, Eric and E, I promise you, they will feel better about their investment and they will actually start making money, which is why all of us got into this space, man. So I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome testimony, awesome feedback, man. Definitely appreciate it. Yeah, with anything, we're very appreciative of content creators like, some of the guys that you named who did take a chance, who, kind of help educate, spread the word. That's very, very important to, how we're able to reach the community. So we're always, thankful for guys taking time. I mentioned that, I had a channel, so I kind of understand what it takes to put out videos and edit and, have some pride in the content that you're putting out and building the community. So it's a lot of hard work that goes into that. And we're very appreciative of those guys as well, who took a little chance, a gamble. But we're happy to hopefully, continue for it to pay off for those guys as well.
Let me ask you one last question, because I don't want to monopolize it. The struggle's always been kind of expanding a brand outside of like the drip ecosystem. Are you guys doing pretty good about reaching other people in different communities, on different networks? How's that been going for you guys?
Well, that's kind of that's a good question, because that kind of goes into part with the kitchen sink and the garden. So we did mention that the garden that we launched on Pulse Drip is pretty similar to the kitchen sink. And, both of those contracts have allowed us to reach other communities. So, of course, we had just launching Pulse Drip. That name was familiar. Drip, that was kind of, for us, that was kind of a marketing campaign, marketing strategy. Of course, we're an ROI project, but people hear that that Drip name, Pulse Chain, those are two things that we saw just from keeping our ears grounded to the community that people were bullish on. Strong community in Drip, strong community on Pulse Chain. Let's give these guys something similar, but in our own way, and bring it to the blockchain. So that was something that we did, and then we launched the garden. The garden tokens. There are a lot of different tokens on Pulse Chain that have communities in their own right. And a lot of people are bullish on those, but they don't really have much utility as far as being able to stake or earn passive income. That's really new. That's really new for a lot of people on Pulse Chain. We're on BSC, we have dApps all day. That's like a common occurrence on the Binance Smart Chain. But we brought this style to Pulse Chain, and a lot of people weren't familiar with it. And then we launched the utilities for these different tokens. And it drew in a lot of those token holders for those particular tokens. And those contracts have even become top wallet holders of those tokens on those blockchains. So that's been cool to see as well. And then, seeing the success from the garden, we saw an opportunity with Drip, where the faucet was closing, where, the community was lacking, something to do with their tokens. So it just kind of worked out for us timing, where we had something that we knew that we could bring to the table that would be a utility for it, that we've kind of already tested for a long time, that we've seen that people enjoy interacting with. And so that for us, launching the kitchen sink was kind of more of brand awareness for us. Again, we didn't take a dev fee on it on the drip side, and putting that out and just really putting all the emphasis on what can we do to make this token better for people. And we just simply kind of say, hey, this is powered by the Pulse Drip team, just to kind of spread brand awareness, direct people to our Telegram, so they can ask questions. For us, that was kind of brand awareness. So those are some of the things that we've done, recently up to this point, to kind of network to different communities, reach out to different communities, to ultimately bring them back to open their eyes and say, man, this team, these guys have a game, these guys have kitchen sink, they have Pulse Drip, whatever else we might develop. Because we're kind of branching out and reaching different people, it just kind of exposes them to different things. Everybody not might get into everything, but that was kind of our goal, was just to kind of spread the brand awareness and then expose people to other things that we have to offer, and then just kind of showing them, or giving them an opportunity to make a decision from there.
Right on. Good stuff, bro. Good stuff. Appreciate y'all.
Awesome. So this has been a really good voice chat, about the kitchen sink. Of course, we had a few people ask questions about Pulse Drip and the team, so that was really great to be able to share those with everybody. Does anybody else have any questions or any insight or anything that they want to input? Anything that we can answer for you?
Yeah, I got a question. Are you guys still not considering launching on a different blockchain for Pulse Drip? Because I'm like, man, you could do some damage on Arbitrum. Let's call it Arb Drip. I don't know.
A Drip.
I second that so much. I would love for this team to launch on Arbitrum. It would be incredible.
Mo.
So for us, it's not complicated to launch on a different blockchain. That's something that we could kind of easily deploy onto, and could make it a cross chain. We can just swap. The only thing there is like now we have two prices we need to keep up. And definitely we want the community to be happy. So that's the only hurdle that we see. It's like if we have two different tokens in two different places and two different prices, we have to spread ourselves a little wide and thin in order to like keep both sides happy.
If you don't do it, somebody's gonna fork you.
Yeah, it's that's something that's kind of a part of crypto, right? It's a compliment in a way. People see that we're successful and want to maybe duplicate it. Of course, we don't want to make it easy for them either. But we kind of understand, like Eric tells me all the time, he's like, oh man, don't worry about it. If they don't do it, somebody else is going to do it. But Eric is really especially good too, and kind of keeping the team grounded. Is like, hey, we need to focus on what we can control, what we need to do. And then as a result of that, we're able to put out what we're able to do. So that's something that we're actually again, because it's not easy. It's not easy, being able to like support the price, keep people engaged, like growing the Telegram is hard. So what we've kind of done, at least here now, is kind of put our focus on Pulse Chain. We saw that a lot of opportunity here on Pulse Chain. So we wanted to kind of we still kind of felt like it's something missing, like we want to continue to add to it. So we added the Aqua Blaze game. And then there's also something else that we're working on. It's kind of a little secretive, a little hush-hush. But we're actually working on another token right now to bring to the Pulse Drip ecosystem that's going to provide some more utility to P Drip. So we'll see how that goes. We're working on it now. Hopefully we can release it here soon and provide.
Let's
some more
go.
Hey, I'd love to.
Yeah. Once we release that, maybe we'll see how that goes, and if there's opportunity to expand maybe to another blockchain, or if there's really a lot of community support behind it, then we're always open. But yeah, that's at least a little insight on what's next for us. I didn't freeze, did I? I got extremely quiet there for a second.
No, you're good. You're
good. No. Almost too quiet. But yeah, that's it's good to hear feedback. People, you guys like what we've been able to bring so far, and so much to where it's like, hey, what if we did this on another chain? That's really bullish to hear. We just want to make sure that we can support it and give it the proper attention that it needs.
Yeah. I just feel like when it comes to like Burger King or Taco Bell or Mickey D's, it's on different towns and different corners because the product sells itself. Like Pulse Drip is so good that for me, in my opinion, you could just put it on Arbitrum and the product is gonna sell itself. It's just that good.
I agree with that, but like one thing that I speak a lot with with Matt, I tell him like ROI dApps are like one of the hardest projects to actually keep everybody happy with a good price. Once that price starts going down, the community eats you alive. So that's just one thing. We're definitely trying to give our best quality, and like we're not against it. We're definitely not against it, but I think with the other token, like Matt said, that we're working on, and it does tie in with P-Drip. It's kind of like I don't know how to say it without giving so much away, but it's just technically ties in together.
He about to slip up.
It ties in together.
He likes just stop talking. Just stop.
Yeah, let me just be quiet. But it ties in together where it's like, yeah, it is another token, but it's feeding the ecosystem, But once we're on a different chain, then it's just completely separate.
You gotta do it all over again. Yeah.
Correct.
And sometimes and we've even seen with some other projects recently that had a lot of success on one chain, and they went and try to do the same on the other, and it doesn't always work out to be the same result.
Well, look at PancakeSwap, for example. If you think about PancakeSwap, as soon as somebody goes on ETH, everybody thinks Uniswap, even though PancakeSwap is on ETH, but once you think BSC, what's the go-to? PancakeSwap,
Mm-hmm. That's awesome, though. So what we got, guys? Anybody else want to share their feedback or have any questions? Anybody want to type anything in the chat? See, we got. See, DeFi Gardner is probably he might be the GOAT for gifts and thumbnails. He does a really good job, man.
Got Chucky.
He got it's been a funny conversation. We hadn't really gotten around to it. I know the community also has requested a meme coin. It's Halloween, so he got the Chucky Pulse Drip image there. So that's
meme coins are fun.
Inside joke too. Yeah, maybe that's something that we could do in the future too. We've done some meme coins as well. The thing with meme coins, we noticed that they have a short lifespan. So
yeah.
Sometimes everyone doesn't understand that I guess that cycle. So you get some people, of course they hit it and it pumps and people happy. And then you have those people kind of who maybe got in on the tail end. But I don't know. It's funny. A lot of times the people who make money, you don't really hear their feedback. They like, I know some people made money, but nobody said anything about how, their testimony or how excited they were. Usually it's after, the pump is gone and, come in and they're like, oh man, this token sucks. And, so that's crypto. That's just some of the experience that we've gathered over the years, kind of seeing what works for us, what doesn't work for us. Man, it takes a lot of energy too, man. Sometimes Eric's like, you want to do this? I'm like, man, I don't know if I got the energy to push it, man. But that's some of the things that we've kind of seen behind the scenes with different projects and what it takes to make them successful. And for us, that's the ultimate goal. We want long-term success. So that's why we want to put a lot of our energy into what we do.
All right, quick question. Will we see a stable coin farm on the added to the the sink?
To the kitchen sink?
Yeah.
So it's possible, but our initial thought was a lot of the liquidity, and from what I've heard, I know Forex is talking about Black Cube kind of rebranding Animal Farm. So it actually brings up a really good point, because I think there's going to be a maybe like a farm or a liquidity pool for drip BNB. Is that right, Eric? It was drip BNB, right?
Man, I'm not even sure. I honestly haven't kept up with
I want to say
the liquidity locker.
Yeah, I want to say it's going to be in drip BNB. And I think they've kind of expressed maybe making that liquidity pool a little bit stronger versus the drip BUSD. So I know BUSD does have like a little bit of I don't want to say FUD, but they kind of have I guess they're kind of phasing out of BUSD also as a stable coin. So I know drip has a lot of BUSD tied to it. With BNB, I know they want to strengthen that liquidity pool. So by having both of these, you can make liquidity pairs with both of these. You can put some in BNB, and you can put some, claim some out of the drip and make liquidity pairs, and then you can leverage the kitchen sink to get into Black Cube. So that's something there. We just saw where if we were to add, so BUSD would kind of be out the question because it maybe long term it's not as bullish. So it'll probably leave like maybe Tether or USDC, which we could add, but it would kind of be doing the same thing that BNB is already doing for drip. And then people, Forex is kind of more, I guess, emphasizing the drip BNB liquidity pair. So that's kind of why we kept it where it is. But there's potential for it if there's enough, I guess, interest in it. It's possible that we could add a stable pair, a stable coin to the sink.
For sure.
Rebirth, did you want to mention something there? I don't know if you were trying to speak.
No, I just listened. Sorry.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah.
No worries at all.
Thank you. And good job, by the way.
I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody. We had a good turnout here. Had 28 participants here on the live stream. I know Drip Coach has been streaming it as well, so I'm sure that's going to get some good views. And I don't know if anybody in the audience, somebody requested earlier. I don't know if anybody in the audience will, but if anybody does like a text summary of kind of what we discussed today, I know that is also helpful for a lot of community members also. So that'd be great. The like Drip Coach came in with the question. He said, with respect to your project, are you guys doing anything to target those drippers that are exhausted of getting burnt? I guess my simple question is, why are you guys any different? So I guess, a lot of what we discussed, in this call, separates us from some other teams. Just being here with the community, answering questions, answering tough questions, putting everything out there, trying to be as transparent as possible, delivering on, what we say that we're going to deliver, doing it in a timely manner. If something pops up and we feel like it's, out of our control, addressing that with the community. Those are a few things that we feel maybe separate us from maybe some other teams. But, it all comes down to each individual, for them to make a decision themselves. Obviously, we want to get on here, do some, answer some questions, do AMA, spread some awareness about Kitchen Sink, about our team, about Post Drip. And so, doing things like this kind of help people get a little bit more insight on the team. But ultimately it's, it's up to, that investor. I can't promise anything. Crypto moves so fast. Sometimes, we have to pivot, and, sometimes things don't always work out in our favor how we may expect it to. But, one thing that we do pride ourselves on is our integrity, being trustworthy in the space. I was telling, I was telling Eric, we were kind of talking over this weekend, and some projects are just out there just to be a cash grab. We really, for us, I'm like, man, why, why would they just, why would you just, put this project out? I know everybody wants to make money, or you see the opportunity to make money, but for us, it's kind of like we see ourselves, being in this space, being in this community for the next 5 years. So it's like, why cut yourself short on a project where you made some quick money, but now you can't put out any more projects because the community doesn't rock with you, because they don't trust you. So it's like, why go through that trouble for just one project where you can continue to build, you can continue to innovate, you can continue to come up with new ideas. And, as time goes on, our reputation is getting stronger and stronger. We're making more connections. So we feel like we want to be here for a long time. We want to continue to develop. We want to continue to help other people make passive income. We want to hear their testimonies. We want to hear, the feedback from, our ideas coming to life and seeing if those things work. And then ultimately it's up to each person to, make that judgment call for themselves. If it's something they feel like, they trust, they like how it works, and invest, and if not, they have that option to hold as well. So I think sometimes it's taking a little bit of responsibility for your own actions as well, your own investments, as well. To decide whether it's, is something good, is a good fit for you or not. And
like, just to add on that, we have different, kind of the same, but different projects, depends on your risk tolerance. So you can actually, like, let's say if you feel burnt from the faucet, you're like, oh, I don't want to do the faucet, but then you see people talking about it to get that FOMO. We have Aqua Blaze. You can buy a ticket, try to win the jackpot on the ticket, just dip your toes in the water, kind of see how you feel. Get in the kitchen sink, put a little bit in there first, and then just build your way up until you get more confidence, in us and in yourself to actually continue doing this DeFi thing and turn it into a success.
Yeah. That's great. Great questions. See if anything else is coming in the chat. I see Nima. Nima's typing. Nima's is always active, giving good feedback and providing perspective in multiple different chats. So I don't know if Nima has a question or if anybody else has a question. It's been great. It's been great so far to get on and talk with everybody.
Yeah, I'm going to be tapping out. I just want to say thanks. It's 6:45 my time in the morning here, so I haven't gone to the gym yet, so I got to get out, take the dog out, head to the gym, do all that stuff in the morning. But I appreciate you guys jumping on and sharing all this information. And I'll definitely be keeping my ear out for the development stuff and putting out some content and stuff on this as well. So I appreciate what you guys are doing, and it definitely seems like a breath of fresh air in the right direction. So, man, shout out to you guys and the team for trudging forward through all this, man. So appreciate taking the time and letting me ask some questions and bring my community on as well.
Yeah, appreciate you streaming it on the channel. So I guess with that, we have been on for about 1:45 now. I guess we'll let everybody get on with their day or their evening. And we appreciate everybody hopping on to speak with us and give their suggestions, their feedback, their testimony. Again, we appreciate everybody, all the content creators. We'll be active here in the chat. So if anything comes up that you didn't think of or you want to ask a little bit later, you can always direct your questions in the chat. We'll answer. If not, myself or Eric, we got some good admins. Dear Slayer, he's here on the VC listening in. You gotta see past his sarcasm a little bit, but he'll answer any questions also. But yeah, we have a good team, man. We love the community. We love the team. So again, just appreciative of everybody. And we'll go ahead and wrap this one up, and we'll catch you on the next one, guys.
I got one question, Matt.
Uh-oh, Dear Slayer has a question. I have a feeling it's going to be some sarcasm. Give it to me.
What sarcasm? 100% business, man. I don't joke around.
He said it was like a mullet, right? A business in the front, party in the back.
Have a good night.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you, bro. Y'all take care.
All right. That's it, man. Thanks for those of you that stuck out, rocking out with this the whole time. It's almost 2 hours, man. So that's my longest AMA. So I definitely learned a little bit about these guys and, you know, their time in the space. So I will be looking around. I'm still not getting in the kitchen sink personally. I'm not nothing against it, but I just want to hold my drip. I'm waiting to be able to actually catch a nice pump and finally get a little bit of ROI. So rather than continuing to gamble with my drip, I'm just holding it. That's my play. But I think I will be actually getting into the B&B side. I do like what I heard about that, and I am bullish on B&B. So I'll probably do a video on this side. And then what I'll probably end up doing is taking some of the B&B dividends and then buying drip with it to get into the kitchen sink. So instead of using my drip, I'll gamble with some B&B because I like the guys and what they're doing and everything that I've heard from them, and try to get more B&B, of course, for the bull run, and then use that B&B to buy drip in the kitchen sink over here. But I'm not taking my drip, if that makes any sense. So that's it, man. I think it's it's a nice step in the right direction. So appreciate you guys jumping on, and I will cap it right there. Yeah, I hear you, Matt. I hear you, man. We just got to let it ride and see what happens. I think if the community's like this, so I mean, this is transparent on chain. We can see what they're doing. Almost 5 million drip in their contract, and they burned 500,000 drip. So if we can get more projects like this, drip definitely can have a second coming, so to speak. So I'm going to do what I can to at least shine light on positive projects like this and positive development teams, but I don't have to necessarily keep gambling. If I've been getting wrecked in the casino, like, you know, stop gambling. So that's the route I'm going to take. But I do like the B&B side. That does sound interesting because I will gamble with B&B because, you know, that's what crypto's all about. Got to find something to stake or farm to get more of. There's no other options. All right, I am out. Thanks for tuning in and sticking around for that long. I will catch you guys next live will be my Friday live, so appreciate you. Lift daily and achieve your impossible. See you guys.